like I said, by the time we had iron, I had titanium, so it didn't really matter for me all that much. And so I was just pursuing the iron thing because it was like one of those things that I really really wanted to do. I really wanted stable iron because, like I say, iron is one of those things. It's the most common. It's one of the most common elements out there. They say iron. There's more iron in the world or around than there is anything else. That iron is everywhere. And if we could somehow use iron to build things, to make things. If we could use iron to actually make things, then, or at least like some amount of iron, then we could maybe make more. But the secret to iron was a great thing, of being able to get it, manufacture it, and mine it, because iron is one of those things that wants to oxidize. It wants to just be a red dust or something like that. Anyway, rust basically. Anyway, iron oxide is really hard to get stable. Anyway, I don't really know anymore, and I don't really care. But just to let the world know, wars were fought over iron, basically, because like I said, it wants to come apart. It wants to rust. So I mean, and being able to mine it, and also being able to use it without rusting is what was a real secret. And I think the secret was mixing it with other metals or something like that, or a combination of, or something like that. I don't really know anymore. I used to know, and I don't really care anymore because it's long since over with. The battles were fought, and I won, I believe. I had it before everyone else. That's why Lucifer, White Star Lines, and the Titanic, and everything else, because I had iron first. I had stable steel. I was the first one to ever get stable steel. Anyway, or at least iron stabilized. And that's why it said Lucifer White Star Lines on the side of the Titanic and not some other company. It was because I had stable iron. Anyway, which wasn't easy. But I believed in it. I thought it was possible. And so they kept messing around with this useless substance that they knew as iron. It was useless. Absolutely useless. Junk. Throw it away. It's no good. Can't use it for anything. But researchers pursued it, and even my researchers kept trying with it. And I don't really know exactly the details of it. I had titanium and stuff like that, so I wasn't all that interested in iron that much, except for ships and stuff like that, because there is so much of it in the world. And it's everywhere. So to make it be able to not rust and be able to be in water, well, if we could do it, then it would be worth it. So anyway, so I kept funding it, and people forever were saying, "Yep, Lucifer Star, the man who went bankrupt over iron, over a metal." Because they were saying that I was going bankrupt pursuing this thing, but I wasn't really going bankrupt. I just had like a couple thousand people, or a couple hundred people working on it, trying out different combinations of metal until they finally got it, which they did. And I had faith in them. I was like, I have faith in you. It's just going to take longer. So they kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, and they're like, we can't do it, or we're having problems doing it. It's like, I know. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So, and that's what's going to make us different, is that we're going to do it. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. For the longest time, that was one of my sayings. I was like, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So if it's not easy, then we're going to do it. And so we were doing the hard things, the really hard things, like stabilizing iron and just doing the impossible tasks. Because the things that are really worth doing, basically. That was one of my things. I was checking off my list of things really worth doing. So anyway, though, and I was funding it and stuff like that. And funding it was more like just feeding the people and giving them a place to live until they finally got it, and then patent it. Yes, we'll be the first and only ones. And I probably should have never patented it, but I patented it, and I think the carriage actually running to the patent office was actually overwhelmed by people trying to steal the formula for iron, and that's what the epic battles were fought over that stupid formula. The iron formula. Believe it or not, that back in the 1800s and 1700s and 1600s, that was the big thing. The iron recipe. Where is it? We know you have it. And like trying to get it out of my what's it called, out of my people. that everyone wanted the recipe for stable steel, the recipe for iron, how to use it, how to stabilize it. Anyway, that was the big thing back in the day, was stable iron. That's what all the wars were about, and everything else was about, was stable iron. So anyway, yeah, it's a history thing, whatever. When they talk about this assassination, that assassination, and this ambush and that ambush, what they're really talking about is the iron formula. People, my people were rushing it to the patent office and all that other stuff, and trying to get it patented and written down, and all that, and on record. Before someone killed them, or they got killed, or something else like that. And once it was written down and distributed to all my other foundries, then it'd be over. But getting it there, that was the issue. And we were ambushed. My people were ambushed, and we had to fight our way through. Yeah, that's what that was the big thing back in the day, the iron recipe. So anyway, everyone's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you weren't there, you don't know what it was about. Iron was a big, big, big breakthrough. The ability to, whoever was able to mine iron and as well as also produce it in large quantities, would own the world. Well, I had it, so and then I shared it. Ha ha ha. I was like, well, it doesn't matter now. Book for you, book for you, book for you, book for you. There you go. Send those books out to all the foundries. And people were trying to stop it from the information from being released, of course. Because then everyone would have swords, everyone would have guns, everyone would have everything. Anyway, yeah. So that recipe, that iron recipe, was very, 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 very fought over. They were trying to suppress it or whatever. Anyway, they were trying to get it for themselves or whatever. But I was giving it away to all my foundries, so they would all know how to make stable steel. And that changed the world. So anyway, that's what it was about. We had this epic battle over the iron formula. Take the iron formula. It was amazing how much death surrounded that stupid formula until we got it printed and distributed. Anyway, that's what was really going on today. It wasn't about gold. It was about a stupid iron formula. The Irishman would tell you that were still alive from back in the day would tell you it wasn't about gold. It wasn't about a president. It wasn't even about a silly piece of paper. It was about an iron recipe. They wanted to know how to make stable steel, and they wanted to keep it from everyone else. That's what it was all about. Anyway, and besides, I needed all my mines to be producing metal that was comparable with the Titanic. So, anyways, this big war and battle, and there was like, and all that other stuff, and ambushes, and my coaches riding on, all through the night. With a book with the iron recipes in it, the metallurgy stuff in it. So anyway, yeah, that's what it was all about. That's what existential existence really is. So anyway, and we got the recipe, and my people were able to read the books and copy it down into their own notes and hide the book. Anyway, yeah. It's kind of funny. It wasn't about gold. It wasn't about a Bible. It was about iron recipes and metallurgy. That's what it was about. That's what all the wars were about. That's what all the ambushes were about, and all the swords, and all the arrows, trying to stop the iron recipe from getting through.